Last time on the Empire's Edge. Yeah, we need something to lure them away. I vote we stick with our traditional method and just ignite everything.
On fire.
You see a person emerging from one of those pine trees.
Jacob, shoot him.
Oh, okay.
Leap off and do a twirly and land on the ground as myself.
The hell's a twirly?
The arrow right in the middle just comes to a stop.
Oh.
And I scream out, coward! Neener, I hate him so much.
Points? What are those things called that make people live? Yes.
I'm rolling 4 dice right now.
Feel the light of Uko.
Basically, she threw Krull into the battle at this point.
Yeats Krull the dragon.
You've
Rolled a hit.
suck.
Sounds like good news to me. 11 points of damage.
And it drops.
Oh, thank God.
Carl, I'm going to sit down on the throne, watch to see if anything happens.
Your wisdom is a permanent up 1.
Guys, I feel really good. Y'all might want to come sit on the throne.
Your quest awaits you in Shapanov's mission. Shapanov regrets his crime and holds the trunk of the Adlai in the nave of his praying hands. It looks like Abner couldn't get to the throne, but with each of you having sat on the throne, you have the roots of this statue of an Adlai. You level up.
Nice.
Yay.
All right, so you guys turn in the gate. You've gathered up what gear you've picked up from the bodies that are there.
Yeah, made sure our armor's secure and on.
Oh, yeah. All that stuff, yeah.
So you guys are set and secure. You look back out. I mean, through the one side of the Gate of the Ages and past the throne, it's just a precipice, a badia. And it's just desert out and beyond that. You're looking down at the Slagmark Desert. But in the opposite direction, there is a fire and there's all kinds of movement going on in that way. Why don't you go ahead and
Yelling
roll?
and shenanigans.
Yeah, why don't you guys roll your knowledge nature to see what's happening that way, or just nature rather, and your perceptions.
Okay.
And
I'll do
for
perception.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, with as bad as it looks
Never
in the
mind.
forest, the
17
desert
perception.
looks
11 perception
unnatural 20 for nature.
All right,
for
so
a total of.
Unnatural 20
yeah,
for
so
nature.
that is the modified, I think.
Unnatural. Yeah. I kept hearing natural
Gotcha.
20. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Why we used to say modified.
So
But I like the joke now.
Jacob in particular, as well, I won't telegraph you guys are moving back through that barrier and then down from it. You're still staying where you are. But Jacob, you are very, very aware that there is so much confusion happening in this area of woods, this large, very wedge-shaped area. And from your current position, the trench you came down is way over on the right-hand side, and you can see that the mountains loom up on your left-hand side as you go further up this valley-like area. But there's that fire in the middle of it that's about a mile back, a little more than a mile back, and you can see that there are animals moving. There's all kinds of confusion and crashing through there. It'd be a tough area to go through right now. The trench makes the most sense, but it does look as though there are things moving in that direction right now. Bugbears, maybe hill giants moving out in that direction. So the whole area looks like it's really, really in a state of chaos right now.
Does it look like our planned escape route is kind of heavily contested at the moment? Is that what you're saying? It looks like there's a lot of areas right there, or
It may, if not heavily contested, it could be that other things are moving through it at this point. Who had the highest one of the perception rolls?
Not the 11.
I had 17.
Okay, so Zelen, you hear right now, you can tell by not the words that are being said, but by the tone, there's a lot of bugbears that were part of this encampment and that they're yelling back and forth, and it does seem to be coming from the right-hand side of this whole area. That'd be the side of the trench you guys came down in.
Well, that was our route out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Do
still
you
had
want me
good
to
cover.
go? Do you want me to go scout it out?
It still might potentially be our best bet, even though it's there. We had good cover in the trench. It's worth looking.
I can
Because it might be they're not actually in the trench. They're just near it.
Yeah.
hold on. I can change into an animal one more time.
One more. Okay.
Yeah.
And do we still
be
have?
a worthy use.
Do we still have Longstrider going?
Longstrider's still going, yeah. You're probably down to the last 10, 20 minutes, somewhere. They call it 15.
Form of a freight train.
They weren't invented
How
yet.
about a passenger train? Then you guys can just jump on and we'll all be out of here.
Lines up with a bulldozer and the cement mixer.
Say, is it a list that you're picking from, or is it just any land animal?
I've got a list. I could be a camel. I could be a badger, deer, frog, cat, goat. I'm thinking deer
go with
yeah,
because
deer's
they're
our
the
fastest one, yeah.
fastest.
Like a
I could be an
jaguar
elk,
or something like that.
but I think a deer would call the least attention, and I could be fastest.
Yeah. And you'll probably be with all the other deer. They're like, holy crap, everything's on fire. And they're
What's
running
going
around.
on?
So
All right.
All right, so you make that change.
Yep.
And then you're passing through the barrier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're very
well,
aware
I think
that-
I'll pass through the barrier first because maybe a deer smells differently than I do. I don't know. I don't want to mess up the smell.
it smells like my deer mom.
So I'm going to step through the
And my
barrier,
dear old
change into a
dad.
deer.
What do the rest of you do? Crawl's going to go through with her. Do the other two of you move through at the same time?
I want to make it through the...
Yeah, that's a 24 versus armor class. Murdering Jacob for that stupid
thought it
joke.
was a
Ooh,
good
I got
joke.
extra attack because I'm 5th level.
Shut up.
Yeah, the
so do
second
I.
one missed.
Yeah, no, I want to make it to the other side of the barrier too, just because we want to be there. We're going to have to get through it at
let's
some point.
The only point that I wanted to make was that you guys are all aware of that same scent that you smelled before, but in this time it wasn't something that was distracting or hypnotic.
Captivating.
Yeah. That
Okay.
In this case, you're just aware of it, and you know that without even thinking about it, you could pass back and forth through this barrier whenever you wanted, and it will.
That's
Now
good
it's
to know.
only slightly nostalgic.
Yeah, so there's still baking bread smell. It's just we're not super stoned and just going,
Is it bread? Is it bacon?
The Dunkin'
who
Donuts. down the corner.
cares? I'm hungry.
Zelen makes that change. She goes into deer form and then sprints off from your position now, like up on kind of the stage of the area in front of the Gate of the Ages, off to the right. And she's heading in the direction of the trench.
While she's doing that, let's the three of us take some cover so we're not just spotted.
I forgot about Kroll. That was my fault. It's like 3 of us. She just left. Yeah.
Tisk tisk.
Kroll.
How
Gotcha.
can you forget about our dear,
Shut up.
what's her face?
Orson,
call it?
dear old, what's his name?
What's her
Gurgle, gurgle,
What's her
fun.
name? Hit points. Yeah.
We're so mean to her. She's not even here to defend herself.
I didn't want her here.
I know. So, Jacob, go ahead and make a survival to see if you can find the best location for cover. Zelen, you're moving down off to the right-hand side after your change, moving at your full speed.
Yes.
And I'm going to roll a couple of encounter dice
Even
for you.
even my faster full speed because I'm at Longstrider.
Right.
We're in a forested area, or is this technically my favorite terrain? Yes, no?
Technically it is, even though this area is very thinned out the closer to the gate you
I
get.
will take the technicality, and that rolls a 14.
Okay. Let me just do Zelen's first. So it looks as though Zelen, until she goes out of your sight for the three of you, that she is unimpeded, just moving in that direction. But you are aware that there are animals moving about all over the place. They seem pretty terrified both by the fire and that there's bugbears and hill giants moving all through the area too.
Yeah,
And if they were
understandable.
bedded down and hidden, they're not bedded down and hidden right now.
Right.
And Jacob, you do. You find the best cover you have. It's not the greatest cover, but you find cover and you guys hunker down there. So Zelen, you go out about 5 minutes worth of travel. So you're probably at a couple tenths of a mile, something like that. And you get up that trench to the point where you realize there's a lot of activity going up that way. And you can see quite obviously that there is movement up there, but roll a perception from this distance if you can gauge what's going on without having to get a lot closer.
That is a 23.
Definitely. You can tell that there are giant men, like around 12, maybe 15 feet tall, that look unusual, pristine, blockish. And they are doing something like moving stones, altering stones, and they're modifying the trench up ahead of you. And as you're watching this, you can tell that, well, at this point, there's actually water, just like a covering of water coming down the trench past you.
Oh.
So something has happened to put water into this trench, and it looks as though those blocks, there were cubes of almost like fetal
Yeah, I
positioned,
remember.
stone things. It looks as those things came to life, and they're working on modifying the trench. You're in proximity or getting up to where the cutoff would be for that.
Are they flooding the trench, the entire trench, or is it kind of a dam and water is being directed?
You need to get much closer to find out. Do you want to go much closer?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you go running up
I'm
there.
very zippy. I can go
Yeah.
peek and run.
Yeah.
Who needs drugs? I'm high on life.
So you're losing your
And
perspective.
the magic of nature.
You're losing your perspective as you stay in the trench because it is as though a dam has been put up in front of it. Do you go up out of the trench to the right-hand side, which is the side that drops? It goes up onto that. There's a narrow little piece, and then it drops down to the plateau that was below where you first saw hill giants, for your perspective, earlier today and last night.
This is what I'm going to do.
All right.
I'm going to take a leap up. I'm going to do like a U-turn. So I'm going to leap up look on the knife edge side because that's where all the activity mainly is happening, right?
That's just the side that drops down. The dam's in front of you. The knife edge is to the right, on that side of the trench. And the left side, there's a lot of area.
So the left side.
Okay.
I'm going to leap up, take a look, leap down. So I'm not, standing there like a big giant target.
Okay, but are you going to do that when you get way, way closer to where it's blocked off?
Yes.
Okay, so after a handful of minutes, again, you run up there and then jump up onto that side, and it's well within your ability as a deer to jump up there. And you do that U-turn, and as you turn, you can see a couple things all at once. One, it looks like whatever these things are, it must be part of their job to move these stones around because the whole other side of that dam is flooded. And water's being diverted, making a mushy area. And right now, they're ripping, those golems are ripping big chunks of turf and stone and tree out to make that water flow inland. But it's damming up right there. It's not going as far as you would want because more than likely, since they were last animated, the topography's completely changed. But it looks that's what they're trying to do. But it also...
They're trying to put the fire out?
Yeah, like they're sending water in that direction.
Okay.
But it's just not going, at least not yet. But there's also bugbears and hill giants coming into that area as they're aware that something's going on over here. And right about the same time you're getting there, the bugbears are engaging these golems, and a melee is starting right now, where they're like, taking blows at each other. The golems take a couple of hits, and then they're turning to attack back, and then you jump back down and turn back around again.
Okay, I'm gonna head back down the trench. We can't use the trench, so I'm gonna run back down the trench to tell my companions we got to find another way.
Okay, so 5-8 minutes later. From the point of view of the three of you in your cover.
So then our Longstrider spell, by what you said earlier, is out?
Yeah, it's going to be running out, probably even now. You may be coming back under regular deer power and not Longstrider power.
How many horsepower is one deer?
I don't know, half, a third. You guys are waiting a little longer than what you'd intend to. And then a deer comes like rushing up out of that toward you. And then as the deer approaches and gets into cover, it transforms back into Zelen again.
Oh.
And I share everything that I've seen. We are not going to be able to make it back out of here in the trench. We've got to find another way.
Well, then sounds like what we need to do is circumvent from the other direction, that we head way to the west side. And who knows, maybe we'll find a mirror to that. It makes sense that there's two.
Yeah, actually, we didn't really look at the other side, so who knows? Yeah.
We've got bugbears, giants, and
golems doing something over there.
What was that nature roll you made a while ago when it first said?
Unnatural
Jacob?
20.
Unnatural 20, right. That you saw a number of different kinds of game, mostly deer, but there were a couple of elk in there too. Mm-hmm. They were moving to the left-hand side, and you didn't think much about it at that point, that why would they go that way? The trench you guys came down through would be the easiest line of travel, and animals go to the easiest line of travel, but there might be some other line of travel that, paths on that side that they're going to, because they've already determined that right
might have been the road from the quarry. Honestly,
now that you mention it, all the animals. You probably didn't see a lot of other animals while you're running that way because they were all going to that west side. We might want to go that way.
All right. So how do we get from here to there?
Carefully and quickly.
Just cutting through the sparse tree growth that there is right now, risking being out in the open and being spotted by something else. But if a lot of their attention's taken further by the fire and where this conflict is you're talking about, you might have a very good chance that there's less down here right now.
Had a thought. Do we have eyes on that last wyrmling? We were estimating there was a population of 3, and we've definitely killed 2.
Yes, that periodically
the Bluebird trip told us there was 3, right?
Yes, it did. Yeah. You do see it periodically.
I don't speak to bluebirds. I don't know.
It was circling the area where the fire that you guys set is, and periodically it disappears, and then it reappears again. It dips in that area, but it seems to be on patrol around that area.
I'd bet that's our biggest risk for things that might notice us. So let's get underway.
Okay. So let's we'll head to the west. I'll try and find the best route of cover, survival, I'm assuming.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And with my favorite terrain, that's a 29.
Wow.
Natural 20, just so you know.
You do.
Yeah.
You find what looks like an animal trail on that side. And with that 29, as you get to this trail, like, I got a good trail right here, it doesn't look as though you're seeing any bipedal footprints on it. That it is an animal trail.
Awesome.
And that it doesn't look as though any other larger things would move on it. And honestly, as you're looking at it, there's some place that would be just too narrow for a bugbear, let alone a hill giant, to have used it.
Fantastic.
All right.
I work well under pressure.
Stay alert. We
All
could be
right,
attacked
so
from literally any direction.
You guys are moving up this. What's the walking order currently?
Me, then the rest of them.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to be leading us through the
You're
the trail?
second.
Okay.
You point over my shoulder.
Then me,
we're-
then Kroll.
Makes sense, yeah.
All right, so moving up in that direction, and you go for like the first mile or so, and there's nothing in your way, but you do see periodically, Jacob, you're most aware of it, that game creatures, deer, are approaching that trail and then just shy away from you and just bolt in a different direction as you guys are on this trail right now.
Pheasant bounces off my shield.
Stupid deer. That'd be too
Are
funny.
we able, as we're running, like, are we getting closer to the quarry now, or are we kind of moving in a different direction?
You don't see it through the trees that are covered right now, but you do know that you're heading in the general direction of the mountain, like the separate mountain that the quarry is on the reverse side of. You were facing it when you came into this region, so it's on the back side of that.
So yes, we are going in that direction.
In that general direction, yeah.
Hearing her whole description, I was really hoping we'd be able to get a glimpse of the volunteer fire department.
Oh,
Take
no.
some pot shots.
That's the other side
Dang
of
it,
this whole area. Yeah,
like those
nowhere near
golems were
that.
cool when we were up to us. It'd been really cool if we were able to see them, but now
Yeah,
I don't want
wanna
to
get
see them
pulled in that
because
melee, yeah.
we heard about the melee that was
The
happening.
less
so yeah.
punched I get, the happier I'll be.
What you're also aware of when it comes to the topography, Jacob, and everyone else in a more ancillary way, is that this cut that's gone right through the Redstedt-Hegyek Mountains is only maybe like a mile and a half wide, 2 miles wide at its widest point. And where it fell down on the one side where you guys came in along the trench, this other side is almost like jumping right up into the mountains. So as you're approaching the area where you're hoping to find, you found this trail, and maybe to see if there's any kind of a similar trench on the other side, that the mountains are pretty close on your left.
Okay.
That there's not a lot of places you can go unless you get into really, really tall mountains really fast. And that has its
Gotcha.
own, slow rate, and you'd be spotted easily. But as you travel about 2 miles up or so along this area, this trail, you realize that the trail has descended into what seems like a fresh wash, like a rainy weather creek bed that's dry at the moment, a ditch. It's roughly the same size as the trench on the other side, but that had worked stone sides and a flat stone base. This looks that if it was the same thing, it's collapsed in. There's trees growing up out of it, and your trail that you're on is winding into it and then along the bottom of this as it goes, further up the slow draw toward the quarry mountain.
Perfect. Natural 20, baby.
Yes, yeah. So a lot of information came out of that one, and you guys following that. So again, and again, you travel like the next mile. The fire is now behind you and to your right, but you still hear, the crunching of things, trees felling. That there's a lot of confusion down inside there, and every once in a while, a voice, whether it's a giant or a bugbear, that's way louder than the rest, like it's given an order or it's crying out, saying "Roar!" You hear that over it, then that dies back down again.
Fantastic.
But then you do see the wyrmling.
Oh, not fantastic.
Yeah.
So that flies
Our
over
least
the area.
favorite sound.
This is
Wing
like
beats.
in its patrolling area, and again, it's just like a green dart that just right over your head and then gone. You do have enough air cover that, like in the next moment after it does that, you're like, okay, I think it would have swung back if it had
Sympathizing
if it had
with the deer.
seen us, yeah. But it's still circling. And go ahead and give me perception checks if you're actively watching to see if you can track where it is in the orbit it's
Yeah,
making
I
on
think
the
we
fire.
should pause and do that.
Okay, go ahead.
Natural 20 for a 22.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, Boris, you're tracking it while you're right there, like keeping your thumb up just to see where it's going. It gets so small, you're so distant on the far side of the fire that you might lose it for a moment or so in the smoke, but then it reappears in that again. So if it's keeping that orbit that way and flying, it's going to be over your head in about 2 minutes as it's flying that way.
I think we've got about 2 minutes before we need to take cover again from it.
All right, let's get some distance.
Yeah,
Keep
hustle.
on moving.
Okay, so you guys are on the double moving, and it's coming up on that time. Boris, you're still seeing it, and you probably yelled at them to dive for cover or
Yeah,
something
right.
like that. And I'm going to roll its.
Less yell, because you'd probably hear that and just like,
Everyone be quiet, the dragon's coming!
yeah, right. Since we're all like right in next to each other, down.
Okay, everyone make stealth.
Ooh.
See if you can hide.
Oh
Ooh.
no.
All right.
Oh no.
Wow. Wait. Oh yeah, you're rolling with disadvantage. That's right.
9
Okay.
14.
I don't know how to stealth.
Stealth is the
dexterity based.
Oh yeah, I found it. 13.
All right,
Nice.
so actually, it flies over your head.
Sweet.
that as it goes over and around.
Good thing its eyes are on top of its head, not on the bottom.
Well, and you do have a fair amount of cover over you right now.
No
And
worries.
then as it swings out in that orbit, do you guys just like jump up and take off again?
Yeah, I
probably
think
wait for
I
a
don't-
second or two.
Do we want to keep on waiting? Because it seems like it's getting more frequent with its passovers. I would just want to go for
All
it.
right.
You have a pretty
You're the
good
ranger.
Yeah.
You feel pretty confident, Boris, that had you not had tree cover, it would have seen you because you feel like there's no way that it couldn't have seen you.
Yeah,
But it
I
was
tend to gleam.
the actual cover where you are. So if you do head into an area later on where there's less cover, could be an issue.
So maybe we should, while we're running, we should try to pick our spot. It's going to find us. Maybe we should try to pick a spot that'd be better for us to
Why are you
fight
jinxing
from.
us like that? It's not going to find us. We're going to get out of here just fine.
Some positive thoughts.
Okay, Polly. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's going to find us.
Yeah,
so-
tight, low canopy.
Right. Yeah. Someplace that would be better for us to.
I split the party and I walk away from Negative Nelly. Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
we're
look-
currently 2 for 2 in our wyrmling fighting.
That's true. And if nothing else, I mean, it might be fun.
And honestly, I'm embarrassed to say they went down pretty fast.
Yeah. And now we have more text.
Well, the one that almost killed the party was doing pretty well.
This is true. Looking ahead, does it look like we're about to lose our cover, or do we have a good bit more distance we can cover and be protected?
You could probably go for another mile or
Okay.
maybe even 2 with the same cover. But then just remember when you guys first got into the trench and looked back at the hill that was the reverse side of the quarry, that there was a lot less cover as you gain more height.
And then
You're-
beyond that, quarries are notoriously free of trees.
Yeah,
True.
You get to the other side, yeah, it's pretty bare.
And
yeah.
is that distance all the way out there, the additional mile that we're going, that's still within the range that this dragon is patrolling?
Well, that's tough to say. How far can it see out to either side? So
How much does it fluctuate
potentially,
each
yeah.
loop?
Boris,
potentially.
do you want protection from poison?
That'd actually be really helpful, yeah.
Okay.
How long does that last?
An hour.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
All right. So I'm going to cast protection from poison on
It's
Boris.
it's a green one that's been flying over us the whole time,
Yeah,
right?
green.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're,
green
they're all
wyrmling.
they're all green. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, good on them for being eco-friendly. One would assume so, given that they're not flying in a plane. They're
Green
flying
dragon
under their own
parking
power.
only.
okay, so I
Really
still
green.
have 1 second level spell slot left. So I
one in addition to the one you're casting, or the one you're casting?
after I protect you from poison, I still have 1 slot left.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I do have 2 third level spell slots, but so should I cast it on Crawl?
Crawl's going to be the most likely to be in breath weapon range,
Yeah.
Oh,
I bet.
Yeah, probably it's always been the Crawl and Boris are
The
up
two
there
of
in
them
front.
like right up in its face, and the two of us at ranged, and we need just to stay out of radius of a breath weapon away from each
Right.
other.
Try to anyway. Yeah. So
If you get close to me, I'm running away from you.
then that gives me an
You're
attack of
already-
opportunity.
Punch up, you make a target.
She's already bringing
All
the
right.
dragon to us.
Crawl, I'm going to cast protect from poison on you.
Okay, so yeah, and Crawl would happily receive that.
What a manly voice you have, Kroll.
She is a
Thanks.
half orc.
I have the most delicate half-orc female voice that's ever been known.
I'm a pretty girl.
I'm Batman.
Yes, you are.
My name's Buster.
Now that's an insight.
All
check.
right,
We're
let's
not
go.
going to go into that.
No.
now.
Let's go.
And
Oh, she's protected and we run.
And you did not cast it on Boris?
I did. I cast it on Boris and I cast
and
it
then
on Crawl.
Okay, great. And then moving on again. So you guys run on for the space of a few minutes, and then are you watching this thing to cover again when you know it's coming close?
I like not getting bitten by dragons. So
Yeah,
yes.
I agree.
Everyone roll that stealth again.
Aw.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
3.
If you roll a
I have a
natural one and you're
21.
rolling with disadvantage, I don't think you have to roll twice.
You
Fair
never
point.
know.
It's for the irony factor.
This is true. 13 for me.
Okay, Jacob. Zelen. Yeah, right. Yeah. Tell me again.
21.
And Krull rolled an 8. The wyrmling is diving on you.
Oh, God.
Rolling it.
Dang it. I was going to say, it's like, oh, surprise round. Let's attack it.
Oh yeah, but my init is great. All right.
All right.
Marvelous. It dips, flies in really low as though to reconnoiter and see what's happening in this area, and then it pulls itself off. Looks like it's approaching, trying to find the best way to come down in through the trees. So it's not just like dropping right in on you right here.
Oh, good. We
Because
still
it's
have
not a
cover.
good spot. It's doing a partial circle and then looks as though it's coming in. So counting them down just so we know what our orders are, and then are able to, if there's any additional action. So
I'm at unnatural 20.
So you had a good one. Yeah.
very nice, Boris.
I'm at 13.
Okay.
I'm at 17.
Kroll beat me too, didn't she?
Yeah, actually, Krull did really, really well.
Okay, so
Free
then,
action, I just scream, spread out!
Crawl is also at 20.
nice.
So
Your
we say
dex
again,
That's
so
actually
Your
Jacob,
dex
you
bonus
said
is
you were
probably
where?
better. 13.
13. And Zelen, where are you?
17.
I've got a dex bonus of +2 for deciding which one
you
of the
both
two of
have
us.
She also has a dex bonus.
Roll off, roll off, roll off.
Wasn't that the name of the little snow golem guy?
I think she would defer to your action as you've been much
Okay,
more of the
yeah,
combat
she's-
leader and you're
She
a
is the
player
fear.
character.
Got it.
Yeah. Boris at 20. Any actions taken?
Is
Is this
it-
thing you can see it's picking its direction to approach from?
Okay. Is it swooping low enough for melee attacks?
No, not at this point.
As an action, I'm using a sacred weapon.
Okay.
Activating that as an action, which produces light and glowy sword. Then I'm gonna move a little less in cover. Still, that it has to swoop low so I can hit it back, but trying to create a line for us and a point of trying to bait it into a particular spot.
Go roll a d20 and use your own level as a fighter type as your modifier
Okie dokie.
as a for a DC check.
I have proficiencies in levels?
13.
You believe that that the dragon's gonna be coming
Could
through
be a she. We don't know.
right through a particular direction where the trees seem to make the most space. That if you were a big flying thing, you would avoid this direction, that direction. I'd come through right there,
Right.
and that's your best shot to orient to set these things up that
Okay,
you're talking
yeah.
about right now.
So I'm gonna maneuver to that spot then.
Okay, so Crawl sees you doing that and kind of notes what you're doing,
Yeah.
and moves alongside you and sets
big
spear
glowing
the same
sword
way.
being bait. That was my action because I'd rather have the pluses to hit. So I won't have an attack. I can get off if it flies near or low.
Gotcha.
You still,
It's still so far out of that range. away.
unless it has a special thing, though. If it flies past you, you still might get an opportunity attack.
Yeah,
It is still so high up in the air.
I'm saying if it flies past me.
How
So if you
high
just,
up in the air is it?
Over the treetops, so 30 or 40 feet
Gotcha.
at its lowest point.
Yeah, no. If you pick a good spot, you might potentially get an attack. Just who knows?
So that's also Crawl at 20, who is mirroring what you're doing.
Mhm.
Zelen, 7.
As a comment with hers,
Yeah.
she didn't have an action to take like I did with Sacred Weapon. So is she readying an attack if it comes near during this round?
She is.
Good point. There you go.
Cool.
And Zelen at 17.
I'm going to cast Fairy Fire, Lasden's Light,
On
The dragon.
What's the range?
60 feet.
Yeah. So as it goes over, that's a ranged spell
Fails-
attack, and I get
Fails
a
at
save, right?
dexterity.
Yeah. Come on, big number. What's the DC?
Oh, and it's against my spell save DC?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
16.
Oh man.
Nice.
Did that go up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yes.
Oh,
That's a 19 for the monster.
Bummer.
So any effect when it's made it save, or it just plain old missed
It
it?
actually bursts into real flames if it makes it safe.
Yeah, it turns into napalm.
No.
Okay, so it avoided that, but that was a nice try. And then Jacob.
awesome. I'll maneuver to where I can get a shot at it potentially through the treetops. Is there a spot where I can see some?
Potentially,
into the
is
sky?
this flying over that way, or is it looping itself around?
Okay, so yeah.
it has cover, but if you want to do the
Oh yeah, putting distance at the same time, like getting a shot on it, but also getting away from them in case there's a AOE attack.
how far are we trying to get? Like the distance of your move, like 30 feet away from them?
Yeah, 20 feet away from them,
All right.
and then I'll 5th level. I'm taking 2 shots at it.
Nice.
Bonus action, casting Hunter's Mark to mark it as my quarry.
Okay, and this is also with the cover of all the trees and branches over your head. Go for it.
Yes. 19.
Misses.
Oh, okay.
So you actually hear the flunk. You can't get that one back.
Oh yeah.
It's stuck up in a branch somewhere.
And next one. 12.
Just net. Whoosh. Can't get that one back either. Were those owl feather fletched arrows?
No, I think I only have like 6 of those, so they're
Okay.
probably very. I'm shooting them very, very like sparingly now because I need to make
so,
more.
and it swoops down in. It comes in and bores from the direction that you are anticipating be the best approach for it.
Nice.
It comes flying in on that point. Right there near the end of the round. Its action at the end of the round. It's using its dash action, so it continues that arc coming around. And as it does so using all of its move, it does come through Boris just where you would anticipated it possibly would.
Nice.
And comes right into melee range. It's used its action. It can't attack right now, but I do believe that Crawl had prepared for an action.
Yeah, that's what you said she did.
Crawl. So then Crawl would just get one, or would Crawl have both? of their
Your
attacks?
action is 2 attacks when you
Yeah.
reach that level.
Yeah, so Crawl gets 2 attacks on this.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Go crawl.
All right, 5e, you did something right.
Okay. And let me just.
The way he was pointing at you, I thought he was expecting you to roll for crawl.
No, I'm rolling.
Yeah, I was like,
it's kind of weird when I roll for crawl. It does that. Plus 8. That's an unnatural 20.
Nice.
Nice.
And does max damage of
Hey,
11 points of
nice.
damage to the dragon.
Good stuff.
It seems wrong somehow that I'm just damaging my own monster. And then its second attack. Her second attack is a miss.
In your defense, though, you're the one who put her here.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's all my fault either way. Top of the round, Boris.
All right.
And then Crawl.
Attacking. First attack was so close to a natural 20. That's a 15 versus armor class.
Misses.
Curse you, 2.
You rolled a 2 and made it a 15?
Yeah.
Hi.
I guess Sacred Weapon.
And I
yeah.
rolled a 15, and that's a 28 versus armor class.
Yeah, that's a hit.
And I'm spending a second level spell slot to Divine Smite it.
Ooh.
So that's going to be an additional 3d8 radiant.
Okay,
If
I have
could...
2. I only have 2.
All right.
We're passing him dice.
Okay, so that's
Aw.
10 physical and 6 radiant.
And then Crawl is attacking. So the dragon obviously takes it. And that was 10 and 6, right?
Yes.
And then Crawl's attack. First attack at a plus. And Crawl hits it.
Nice.
Nice.
And where'd my 8-sider go? And does
I stole it.
5 more points of damage. And then Crawl's second attack. It's wild. Ooh! Natural 20. So I'm getting excited.
Nice!
I rolled a natural 20. You killed your own monster for the non-player character. And I'm attacking my own monster. Wow.
The layers of irony.
Kill it,
So
kill it.
first D is a 7. The second D is a 4.
And
11,
don't half-orcs
12,
get another
13,
die on
14.
criticals?
Is that a thing for half-orcs in 5e?
I'm pretty sure it's like their claim to fame.
That's really awesome.
Yes, that's called a savage attack. When half-orc warriors score a critical hit with a weapon, a melee weapon in attack, he or she can add an additional die of damage for that roll. So
Thank you so much for bringing Crawl into our lives. I'm never going to forget about her again.
And just did a total of 21 points of damage to this thing.
Wow.
That was brutal on my
Nice.
poor own monster. This thing is really hurting. I know exactly what it's going to do if it even lasts that long.
It's going to get very shot as
We're going to see
do.
it's going to catch an
I
arrow
hope
in a
so.
moment because it is at the very bottom of the round. I rolled a 2 for its init with its dex. It's at 5.
Wow.
So it is actually the bottom of the round, and that just sucks. But let me do some quick math right here. That was a
Math.
-1. That's free quick maths.
Yeah, so this thing, whew. All right, that was at 20. Pretty important round at 20. Zelen at 17.
I'm going to cast Thorn Whip. My goal is to wrap it with a whip and slam it into either the trees or the ground.
Wow.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, roll. So you cast that animate yourself?
So what's the how does Thorn Whip work?
Yeah, so why don't you read that to us?
The range is 30 feet. I create a long vine-like whip
Okay.
covered in thorns that lashes out at my command toward a creature in range.
Wow.
Make a melee
Melee, yeah.
Melee, yeah.
spell attack against the target. If the attack hits, the creature takes 1d6 piercing damage, and if the creature is large or smaller, you pull the creature up to 10 feet closer to you.
All right, so go ahead and roll the hit.
Oh, that's not good. But wait a minute, I get plus things, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
My spell attack modifier?
Yes.
So that's a 13.
Misses.
Ah.
Yeah, that would have been cool in the moment. That was at 17-13, Jacob.
Right. It's down near the ground, grabbing one of my owl arrows, lining up my shot, breathing in deep. Oh, yeah.
What'd you roll?
29,
What'd you roll natural?
19.
Ooh, yeah.
So
very
close.
nice. Very, very nice. Roll your damage.
It has already been marked as my quarry. It is below its hit point maximum, and my bow already does a d8.
Look at that grin.
Oh.
23 points of damage.
Good grief.
And my second attack with advantage.
All right, go ahead.
Assuming it's
Another-
still alive.
Roll it.
Yeah, another owl arrow just in case. Okay. 18 to hit.
Hit.
14 points of damage.
All right. It is at -29.
Oh my God.
yes. Oh, yes.
You had it at the first arrow, but I would assume your total damage would have been just to do the thing.
Oh,
So
dang it. Well, can I get my other... Did my arrow break when I shot it into the corpse?
let's find out.
That's what happens when you shoot arrows simultaneously.
No.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Yeah. So, dragon,
Yeah.
another wyrmling, handled
All right.
really, really quickly.
Nice, yeah.
You guys need to have bigger monsters.
Oh, my
Um,
God. That was so awesome.
Yeah, let's
2 attacks is awesome.
take some claws as souvenirs and
Oh,
then
definitely, yes.
get on the move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cut a few of them out, and then... How many does it have?
Yeah, it's 5 per claw.
Okay.
So
per
20. I'll take 2. Crawl take 2. Y'all take however many.
Yeah, I'll just take a hand.
Oh,
I'm
God.
just going
Whole
to chop
hand.
a hand
Okay.
off.
Okay.
Well, why not? It's easier to, it's faster just to cut it at the hand than cut it at each individual
the
little
wrist?
finger.
Okay.
Let's go.
Zellen's getting
we got a
weird.
rock.
All right.
Yeah, no.
So you guys, so within a couple of minutes, you have that stuff. You look around each other, and you're like going, and we didn't get hurt.
Yeah, right?
It didn't
Oh.
have. It didn't have time to
Yeah.
even breathe once, which is what it was going to do.
Nice.
Had it been able to.
Not like it would have hurt anyway because someone thought I had with the poison.
Yeah,
Yes.
right? Resistance to damage, cutting that by half. Yeah.
All right. Moving along that trail, you travel
Yes.
that trail for another mile or so, and you don't encounter anything apart from you yourselves actually scaring game up that was in the trail itself.
Okay.
The fire is now more behind you and to your right hand side, and you're gaining more height. There is less cover, but you.
But there's nothing circling us
But you,
anymore.
yeah, Boris is very aware there's nothing circling the rest of the party up that way, and you are gaining more and more of the area of the height. So you're getting up out of the plateau of this region that led down to the Gate of the Ages. And
Can we
headed
see
this
what the
upper area.
battle is
I was
doing?
gonna say, yeah. Are we up high enough that we can see?
Not yet. There's
kind
still
of
much
the other end
tree
of the
time.
valley
All right,
anyway.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's-
but maybe we could still see, you know.
Are we moving into
See a
another
bugbear
valley,
go?
or are we moving up?
Well, as you're in this ditch, that's might have
Oh,
been
yeah,
that kind of
we're-
construction that's
We're in a ditch.
that you have trees growing out of it and there's cover on either side of it. So and then sometimes it
There's
thins
these
out.
weird man-shaped lumps half buried.
You haven't seen any of those yet, but
So
apparently,
they're very buried.
if you start lighting more things on fire, maybe they'll animate and come up out of the ground around you
okay.
and want to put the fire back out.
Arson solves all problems. It's just like the voices said.
Okay.
So you guys travel on for about 3 more miles. The ditch is still winding in this direction. After about 2.5 miles, it gets really, really shallow, but you do start to see that there was fixed stone on the top of it where it's eroded off of it.
Huh.
So it does look like it had at one point been a constructed thing, but erosion or whatever, it's mostly filled in.
Would any sort of a cursory glance just let us know like how old maybe that it is?
Does it
how
seem
long
to
has it
match
filled in?
the other one?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead and do a nature.
Can I do a history?
It's
It's the same plus.
historic, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
18 for my nature.
19 for my nature.
Oh my God.
3 for my history.
There's nothing historical about it.
Yeah, it's a rock.
It's a rock.
It's not just a boulder.
It's a rock.
So since
I
Jacob
ride that
actually
baby for miles.
since Jacob actually asked that, I think Jacob would be getting the information, and you could have had support as he's talking to
neener.
the group. It was his idea that you would figure that there's been erosion to fill this trench in, and the height of the trees growing it in it. You would think that it's probably been filled in this way for at least 200 years.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
so good long time. That there are trees that have grown up, rotted, fallen over, and died, and are rotting. They're laying in it or across it at different points.
Okay,
so a
yeah.
couple hundred years easily.
Dang.
Wow.
All right, so
No, keep on
you move,
guiding.
Let's get the hell out of here.
and then by the end of that 3rd mile, you've really moved out of the trench. It doesn't exist. But at this point, you're
or
really
that ditch, rather. The trench was the other
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, it was a trench.
That
Yeah, fair.
We just learned that, yeah.
But you're probably a good 500 feet above the area of where you set the fire. As if you like the
Right,
elevation
the
has been
elevation
rising,
gain.
you're on the reverse side of the hill. It becomes the quarry, and as you get up to that point, and you feel like you have like reason to pause, like you're out of all of that. You had asked before about movements of things, what's happening in different areas. So let's just roll perception, just to note the various things that are happening down there in the plain below you.
Can we roll 2? 1 for what's going on, and a second to find a camp? Because if we're like 6 miles from our starting point, we're probably getting close to end of day.
Yeah, you're actually probably right, but that's more of Jacob's thing.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
can Jacob roll 2 perceptions?
You could certainly ask him. Jacob, we'll find camp.
Well, I did the first one so well. I don't want to do a bad one after that.
All right, so go around the table. Zelen, what's your
Way to manifest, bud.
25.
Yeah, so the first thing you notice is you're looking over in the direction of that fire, that you can see that some of the cloud of smoke isn't actually a cloud of smoke. It looks more like it's steam coming off of
Okay.
that it does look like large amounts of water have hit the area of the fire. So maybe those golem-like things were actually successful in whatever it was they were doing.
Okay.
And that being the case, they might
That's
have
good.
actually pasted a bunch of the bugbears and the
Right.
hill giants too.
Made for each other. Half that, literally.
Jacob, what'd you roll?
My perception was a 23.
You can see that you've moved through the area of a lot of game moved in this direction, and there was plenty of sign of it. You think that most of the wildlife moved into the area about where you are right now, and then skirted the base of the hill, and they're probably coming down in behind the fire. That you see a lot of evidence of movement that way, and as you're following the direction, kind of looking where they would go down below you, and way off to the east, you actually can pick up just for a moment between the break in the trees, that there are hill giants, a line of them that are moving. They're probably about like 2 miles away, and they're moving east as though they're going to go over that lip, like right across the trench on the other side, and then drop down and out of sight. That they're heading east and a little bit north, and it looks like they're just getting out of the region.
Okay. Noted.
Boris, what did you roll?
13.
The air has changed directions. You think the wind is now moving from the southeast and is now blowing toward the northwest. So if there's any of that fire left, it could actually start burning toward you.
Awkward.
Dangerous and potentially deadly.
Awkward.
Roll.
Fire, giants.
No, not fire giants, hill giants.
Okay. Okay.
Roll in it.
Oh.
Okay. What's going on?
What?
Natural 20.
Oh,
Dang it.
shoot. 11.
22.
Oh, I rolled a 16. I have a 21.
Yeah, it's because my dex is terrible. I'm protected by layers of steel, not by getting out of the way.
As you guys were reconnoitering, looking that way, right up close and near you, there is a wandering encounter. Apparently,
A 12-foot tall variety of wandering encounter.
looks like he was just sitting down behind a couple of trees, just like looking in that direction, down in toward the fire, biding his time. A hill giant stands up and turns around and looks at all of you, a little surprised that you were there, and you're probably a little surprised that he was just so close in that moment as well. But that's the nature of the Anits. There's a hill giant that is closed on you, or is in the same area as you.
Free action to talk, and also top of the round.
Give it a try.
I'm going to try and go with what we did last time and just kind of bluff our way through. Well, by skills, I'm going to go with persuasion, try to make him believe.
Okay.
Seems like this area is falling apart. We're heading on.
What language are you saying that in?
Common, because I doubt he'll respond well to Celestial. That's a 21 on my persuasion.
He looks confused. Like he looks at you and doesn't glance away from you, like taking his eyes off of you. But you can tell he's like thinking about whatever's down below him.
Mhm.
Like there's something in his gesturing that looks like he's thinking about all that was happening in the valley that's not happening now. What's going on with that? And he's looking forward, and he says in common, thickly accented, that there's a lot that's gone wrong. But you can tell he's not relaxed. That he looks very, very tense, but he's holding his action at the moment.
Glad you spoke first, because I was just thinking of just calling him stupid and ugly and then firing at him.
Yeah, we're heading away from here. Maybe find better hunting grounds. Where are you headed? 22 on persuasion.
Yeah, he seems a little, actually even more wary. Like he's thinking that this doesn't seem right. The whole situation doesn't seem right because he's still not rolling to beat that 22-year-old, but he rolled really, really well. So he's
Insight to gauge he's probably going to try and hit us anyway.
Sure, roll a number. Yeah, he's
Natural 18 for a 21 insight.
Yeah, you would say that the way he's gripping his club, that when he's confused for too long, that the best thing to do is just to smash it.
Yeah.
That you don't stay confused in being a hill giant for too
sympathy,
long.
man.
Can I notice the same thing?
Jacob.
Give it a
shoot
try.
him.
Yeah. There you go. For that Was that perception?
Insight.
Insight was, where is insight? There it is. 21.
Yeah, you're pretty sure that the way he's just like squeezing that club, he can't figure out what's happening. But that other guy sounded pretty believable, and he sounded like he was in charge, like people that are in charge that give orders. But it just doesn't seem right. As you're looking at him, he looks at you, and you notice he looks like directly at your armor and looks back to you, and he launches himself into an attack.
All right, is he within 30 feet?
He is within 30 feet.
Okay, I move and engage.
All right.
And attack. It's a pity I used Sacred Weapon already.
I was
Crap.
really hoping to notice that he was going to swing and attack at you and just point and behind, look over there.
Yeah, right.
You're
It's too bad he recognized your awesome armor.
All right, so I forget your init rolls you made from before.
22.
Okay, so 22, Boris. Zelen?
11.
21.
And what's crawl at?
It was 18, 19. It was a 20.
All right, yeah. Moving, engaging, attack action. First attack is a 17 versus armor class.
Hits.
Nice. I'm going to roll second attack while I'm here for a 23 versus armor class.
Yeah, that hits.
All right, I'm spending my other second level spell slot to divine smite him as bigly as I can because I don't want to get hit.
Are you saying for the giant?
She said, "Come on."
No, I said, come on.
Yeah, so that is math. Sorry, now that I'm back, 15 physical and 13 radiant for 28 total.
Okay, taken.
That was first attack. With the second attack spending my last first level slot to deliver the lesser variety of Divine Smite. For 12 physical and 11 radiant, so another 23.
Nice.
I'm feeling slightly confident.
And that was up at, where did I put you? 22. And then, Jacob, you're at 21.
Cool. How long ago was the battle with the
So, wyrmling?
the wyrmling? Yeah.
Yeah, over an hour.
Ah, dang it. Okay. My Hunter's Mark spell has run out, so I will have to cast it again as a bonus action, marking it as my quarry, knocking a owl arrow, and shooting at him. Well then.
With natural one.
Natural one. I will not be getting that one back, and knocking another one, and not rolling a one this time.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's about as not a one as you can roll.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Let's go. All right. I need a D8. Thank you. It feels good to ask to borrow one. Yeah.
Return him the favor.
All right. 10, 14, 15, 21 points of damage.
All right, he
Nice.
takes that.
Go.
That was, I've never seen such opposite rolls in 2 die rolls.
That
That
was
was
the
both
most extreme,
A
yeah.
natural 1 and then a natural 20.
Can I get a perception to see if I can notice where that arrow went? Maybe it stuck into a tree nearby.
It went a mile away.
I have a really good range.
Yeah. We see a comet form. It's like, oh no, the Fire
Crawl
Nation's going to
attacks.
invade.
Crawl attacks. And the
With
first,
advantage.
first attack.
'Cause of my
yeah,
owl
with
arrow.
your
Yeah,
owl
the first
arrow.
attack has
Yeah.
advantage.
So that
Here comes her natural 20.
actually hits.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Yay.
Even she rolled kind of a mediocre number, but that was still
Yeah,
enough.
a hit works.
Yeah, hit works definitely, and delivers fairly minor damage, but damage nonetheless. And then it is the giant, and let's see, he'll pick 1 or 2 foes, and I'm not sure how to differentiate between it's 1, 2, 3 Boris, 4, 5, 6 crawl.
I did a lot more hurt. Is
Yeah.
the only thing I want to point out.
1, 2, 3, 4 Boris, 5, 6 crawl.
Fair enough.
70 hits me. That's why we're rolling a D6.
Boris.
All right.
All right, so
Yeah, solidly, Boris.
first attack, Boris armor class.
19.
The good class.
Good armor class. 19 plus 5,
Ooh.
24.
Ow.
And the owls are nowhere around. But
I said ow, not
okay.
owl.
I need to borrow a couple of 8-siders.
Oh, that's not
Oh,
good.
no.
How many couple?
No me gusta.
One more.
Oh, there you go.
All
Oh, I
right.
should have given the other one.
And
I really should have given the other one.
Mine rolled properly.
19 points of damage.
Oh my
Ow.
gosh.
Yeah, that sounds like one of our hits.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
He's got a second attack, doesn't he?
he does.
Oh, man,
Oh.
I hate giants.
Attack 2. Oh, misses.
Ooh.
All right, then it is, who's bottom of this? Zelen, go ahead.
So I would argue that with
Okay.
all the smoke and steam and stuff in the area, that it would act like a storm. So I want to call lightning, but with the advantage of a storm being present.
Well, it is true that that big fires do create their own atmospheric event around it. Go ahead and read the spell so we can see what that says about it.
All right. It says Zelen can.
Uh-huh.
It says I do
typed right
what I
I
want.
kill the Goram giant.
It says if you are outdoors in stormy conditions when you cast this spell, the spell gives you control over the existing storm instead of creating a new one. Under such conditions, the spell's damage increases by 1d10.
Ooh.
And what's the normal damage for you at this level?
3d10.
Wow, so we can 4d10 instead. And, okay.
There is a save. He has a dexterity save.
Gotcha. Let's go with that.
Yeah, and if nothing else, if you have control over the storm, you could make it start raining and put the fire out that we started.
Yeah, right?
Start to do
Actually
something to
manifest
improve.
it.
All right, so
fully as
you
a
cast
spell?
your spell, and it is just an action to cast the spell?
Wrath of Indarra.
Ooh, nice. Like Wrath of Indarra.
So I need D10.
And
You've got 4d10 over
And
there.
I need to
I do?
roll, you said a dexterity saving
it's,
throw?
It's the one with 2 numbers and the one with 1 number.
Yeah, those are
These?
D10s.
Yeah.
And you have two
Just-
sets of dice, so grab
and
the
just-
purple ones too.
Just don't make it like a 90 or a 10 or a 20. It's just
Yeah,
a
Just grab all
9.
4 of them, even the single digit
I
ones.
see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yep. And then when you roll them all, just take the zeros off.
and that's the last one you had, I think. Oh, no, you got them. Yeah, good.
If it's just a 0, that's a 10.
But first, before you roll it, I get my save, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so and anything else, describe for me very specifically how you're bringing this bolt down.
So I'm going to shoot it down his back. So the edge of the lightning bolt just goes zipping down the back of his head, down his spine.
So give me descriptions in feet. So really making touch him, because I want to know
Touch
this.
him and no one else. So it's as if I almost like,
So you're probably casting a little bit behind him.
right. It's
Yeah.
as if
So-
I'm casting it behind him. So it's catching his back.
Yeah, 'cause everything
but
within
everything
5
else
feet-
is in front of him.
Okay, yeah. If you cast it right on him, then both Crawl and
Right.
Boris
And
would
they
make
could
the
be in
saves
the
too.
effect, but
If
I'm
he's a larger
casting it.
creature, yeah, if he hits him like right in the butt, it might be more than 5 feet just between him to get to the
Why
people in
even
front of
worry
him.
about it? Cast it just
Oh, yeah.
a little bit behind him.
Yeah, I'm going to
instead of
cast
right
it a
on him.
little behind him so it catches him just
And
on
you're-
the edge of the spell, his back on the edge of the spell.
So, and your DC was a 16, I think, was your DC for spell saves?
Sounds
That
right. yeah,
Sounds
right?
correct.
Yeah.
And that is, in fact, correct.
All right, here it comes.
Snap, crackle, pop.
I'm going to roll a
Rice Krispies.
17 right now. I fail it. Roll actually a 4, because his dex, he has a -1.
Wow.
-1.
Okay.
All right, roll big. Roll as big as they were when you put them down when you weren't rolling. That's
That's pretty big.
9 and 9 is 18. So that's 19 plus 8, 27. Right?
sounds right.
27. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
That's
real nice blast, yeah.
Comparable to every single other attack. That was
like, oh,
Yeah. That's pretty.
since when can you do that?
Since I woke up this morning.
No, when you woke up this morning, you guys were on the other side of this valley.
Since we
in the
killed
trench.
that dead guy.
ever
Yeah,
since I
it was
said-
ever since the Throne of Indarra in the late morning.
Yeah, the Wrath of Indarra. It's charged my butt.
Wow.
Because we weren't actually picking up our feet in the throne room, we were just shuffling around on the carpet.
All right, top of the round.
Ooh,
All right, yeah, attacking.
does he look bad?
He looks bad.
Nice.
Yeah, he looks morally reprehensible. That's a 17 versus armor class.
You hit him.
And second attack, is a 14 versus armor class.
And he has an armor class. He has an armor class of 13.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, first attack did 9 points of damage. Second attack did 12.
And he drops.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You guys are just way more powerful
Oh
than I
my
give
gosh.
you credit
This makes my stomach.
for. He had 20 hit points left, and
You did 21.
you did 21 points of damage.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I cast the lightning bolt instead of the fairy fire.
Yeah, honestly.
That's fantastic.
I'm very glad of that because I'm probably still standing here because of that.
Does
I was at 37 of 56.
Ooh.
I always didn't think of you guys having still damage on you. No, you didn't have damage on you.
Yeah, no, I was at, I'm
from
now
the
at
throne.
37 to 56.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's terrifying.
This is the first thing we've killed we can't actually eat, though.
Who says?
What's stopping you?
more,
It's not human.
moral, it is sentient.
That's the
morality
modifier?
and my injunction against undead, and given I don't want to deal with you two as ghouls, I will kill you before you eat him.
Oh, I wasn't going to eat him.
Is there any sort of a trophy that people take off giants?
You tell me.
Their toes.
Their ears.
Skyrim.
Yeah, it's a Skyrim thing. Why does a guy have a giant toe?
Yeah,
in his
because
bag?
there's nothing magical about him. I'm
Is he
hoping
carrying anything
the
with him?
dragon could. Oh, that's a good idea.
Just the whatever hides and
club.
clothes and things in the club he has wrapped around him.
So
no, he's not.
I think we should move away from this guy because maybe he has friends and would not be happy
No,
to
we
see
saw them
him.
down there. There's
Yeah.
always a chance
Right.
that they're in this area.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's go a bit
So-
further.
Well, following
and-
what Zelen just did, I mean, roll that as an insight, I would think.
16.
That it actually makes sense that if most of these giants went in one direction, that maybe wherever they came from, their enclaves are more to the east and north in the Redstead Hegyek Mountains. But it makes sense that some live in the opposite direction, further down the range. And even if it's a smaller number of them, there could be more that move through this area.
Though, on kind of a counterpoint, I still think we should definitely get the heck out of the area, but what they might have seen if they saw was him getting hit by lightning and then dropping.
Ooh, that's a bit of a beacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's move on.
Let's
Yeah.
move.
So
I am taking an action and spending 19 points of my 30 for lay on hands to heal myself back up.
okay.
Oh yeah, because lay on hands even got better. That's fantastic.
Yeah, with
Oh,
that
this is so cool.
that extra level.
Yeah,
of-
and then another survival to get our path out of here, or are we
Yeah,
still
go
letting
ahead.
that 29 roll? Okay, 10.
Do you want me to try?
You also have proficiency in survival.
19.
Yeah, no, it's-
So Jacob, that trail just turned and went out. It just, the way that the trails would disappear. And then as you're looking and scouting for it, Zelen picks up another one. You get on that trail, and it's taking you further up to the top. So let me roll a last encounter die as you're heading up to the top of the this part of the range. And you hit a level spot. You're on the shoulder of the hill. The quarry is down below you.
Mhm.
Jacob, you can see there are trails that come down off of this thing that at different points, different kinds of animals will skirt this hill and then head themselves down. And the fire and all is behind you, and you are out of this valley area. You see that you're in a little more of a safe
All right.
place, and
okay.
you probably find a decent
Let's-
spot to camp out
Yeah,
if
set
people are.
camp, set watches, and call it a night.
Let out that lovely just sigh of relief
Yeah,
and start.
Still dominant behind you,
Oh, yeah.
the gate of the ages. Just
Yeah,
looking
I
through
bet.
it, and that you were
Yeah.
back there just a few hours, 5 or so hours ago.
Yeah, so pick a good spot, start setting up camp, and typical watch order as usual.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you set that, and is Crawl usually
Crawl's
first?
Yeah,
typically
Carl's
first,
first.
yeah. Yeah, so-
I'm second. Zelen's third,
Okay.
and
I look for
Jacob's
food in
got
the
the
morning.
Jacob's
Yeah.
breakfast patrol.
Okay,
Yeah.
So yeah,
because
Crawl-
he's the one with the bow.
nothing happens on Crawl's watch, and Crawl wakes Boris. Boris's watch, nothing happens there. Boris wakes Zelen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zelen's watch, and nothing happens there. You wake up Jacob. Jacob on your watch. Jacob on your watch.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
boy.
always me.
Things happen
It's
in
'cause
the
you
wee hours
manifest
of the
this
morning.
stuff.
That when you first woke up, the first thing you noticed, or woke up as you're on your watch, you're aware that you feel different. Like the armor on you feels different, and to put a term on it, because Zelen just mentioned this a handful of days ago when she put that ring on, and then had a short rest when you guys came out of the tomb, that she was attuned to it. You've realized without even trying to or know what was happening.
Because I was sleeping in it, and I was.
Yeah, you've become attuned
Okay.
to the armor itself.
Oh, nice.
And you would note, I guess, that the armor itself would be referred to as Kremlin emissary armor, but that most importantly, it is a magical armor.
Ooh.
That you actually have +2 studded leather armor. And the nicer part to that is
Wow.
that it does, now that you're attuned, it gives you resistance to cold
Mm.
and poison.
Ooh, let's fight more
Wow.
wyrmlings.
And you realize that this armor is the stuff that allowed Abner to move from tree to tree, and that's what was killing him. His own negative
His
energy.
undead nature was killing him, but he
Right.
could.
Oh, so wait, I think that I
Wow.
could pass through the trees, but I won't kill them?
You do. You have what is tantamount to a tree stride spell that's made part of it. It doesn't work exactly like the spell, but that you believe that you could actually move into a large conifer, know what conifer is within a 20-mile range.
Wow.
And that you have, instead of a duration for this thing, that you could go any distance of up to 20 miles to any of those things. But then, if you just did that, less than a mile, it counts as a mile. Or, any number of jumps just so you don't exceed 20 miles in one day.
Okay, but still,
Wow,
that's fantastic.
That's a huge
Yeah,
distance.
the emissary armor, the Kremlins would use this to move people back and forth quickly.
man.
It was their Pony Express.
So you just ping through as a scout and you step out of a tree and go, oh yeah, stuff's going on here.
This is going to be so cool tomorrow. I'm going to
And then
scare
ping
the
back.
crap out of Zell and Boris and crawl.
So
Emerge out of a
as
tree.
as you're standing there, and you have the notion that whenever you do that, the tree itself will form horns on it, just like it did whenever Abner moved through those trees.
Oh, that's
So there is that
weird
mark
thing.
of it too. Yeah.
But at least I don't kill the tree, so that's good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, unless you become a major negative energy.
I just
thing.
get big eyes and I just start looking at every single tree around me like, ooh, which one am I going to do first?
And you notice a wing thing flying in your direction.
Oh, God.
Thanks for listening. Hey, have you told your friends how much you like our podcast? If you want more, check out mattsinkovich.com and theempiresedge.com. Be a member of the podcast on subscribestar.com/the-empires-edge.